Years later, when I was the Reaper, in the bunker, the XO1 didn't trust me. It wasn't because I was just an outsider. There are other people like me, or should I say things, broken tools, broken outsiders, even people with much abilities. I wasn't like them. I was just me, the assassin, the Reaper of the Deception, who were hunting the GOV for years, including the XO1, hunting down their friends, killing them, and don't ask questions later. They were afraid of me because I was the only person who can do bad things more than just assassins. Even the assassins are afraid of me. Who else pulls the trigger? Who else stops the biggest threat? Who else doesn't hesitate to pull the trigger? Me. The GOVs, aka the Phantoms, are the enemy source that we're after. We hit them where it hurts. Every outpost, every facility, everything that they built, we destroyed it all. They called us terrorists, but when we were saving people, it felt like we were bringing back the world again. Me and the Reapers and the XO1 are fighting together to take down the GOVs once and for all, to start a new revolution, and to stop the biggest threat. But we're no heroes. Heroes were dead a long time ago. We're assassins that's bidding to just stop the biggest threat. Therefore, everyone can just live in peace. We get dirty and the world stays clean. That's our job. Everything went smoothly. Everything went well. Until Mr. Stone was gone. There was no note, no message, nothing. Only an activate. I was able to have control throughout all of his organizations. I was the leader of the XO1. I wasn't ready. I was always a follower, but I knew I had to. We found one of their main facilities. We breached in and no one wasn't home. We found something that could be more than just the biggest threat. We found out they were trying to make some kind of power. When they get their hands on the RX-5, of course, their plan was to bring back the Beast. The Beast was a big figure that was able to end the world, going through cities and going through seas, just to destroy everything, to make it look like the end of the world. And it was. Back then, the Beast was alive, and everyone was getting sick. Only the conducts were the only ones that wasn't affected by the sickness. Only the people without the powers can die from the affection from the power. The RX-5 was able to spread to make people into monsters and to make them dead and infected. It was like a disease in thin air. The only way to stop the Beast was to destroy the RX-5, to make sure they doesn't get their hands on it. I had two choices, destroy it or use it. But when I used it, I lost everything. So I gave it everything I got, destroying it with all of my power. But then it started to make a whole blast radius. The GOVs came and started shooting, trying to take the RX-5 from us to make sure we don't destroy it. But it was too late. The RX-5 was beginning to start a whole explosion like a nuke, and that's when we had to get out of there. But it was too late for them. I managed to escape, but everyone died inside. My assassins. They always tell me that whatever happens to us, you still keep fighting. And that's what I did. A couple weeks ago, that's when I decided to go back to a place that where I thought I was dead a long time ago. Where I buried my mask. Where I buried my old past. Because I could never be the Reaper again. Because of what I did in the past. But you can't escape from who you are. But while I was getting the stuff, including the serums, I was already too late. The GOV has already found me. I was escaping with the stuff, but that's where they were shooting me many times, off the bike. I lost my balance, and when I fell, they already started shooting. The last bullet was right through the heart. I was dying and bleeding out, but that's when some of my assassins came. They escorted me to the helicopter. The only thing they had to say was to syringe me, and that syringe was the only thing that can bring back the Reaper, and that's what it did. While I was getting escorted to the hospital, and while I was in a coma, I was getting flashbacks of just killing one of my old enemies on what I did back then. Every revenge and redemption I was killing. It felt like a dream, but it was real. Back then, I was just a menace, a monster, who just kills with no regards and no remorse. People remember me, they were scared of me, they were afraid of me. But now, since I'm dead, they don't be scared anymore. And sometimes I just miss my old self. And it feels like I'm a coward. It feels like that I left behind everything. But the only thing I left behind was myself. But I knew in the end when I buried that mask in that snow, I couldn't run anymore.